Hi, everyone, and welcome to Mysterious Lost. Today, I'm going to be talking about the story of two hikers who were found alive after being missing in a national park for over a week. It is a reminder that even in the most difficult of circumstances, there is always hope. We are grateful to the search and rescue teams who worked tirelessly to find the hikers. We are also grateful to the hikers themselves for their strength and resilience. These are real stories of hope and survival. Stories that remind us that even when things seem hopeless, there's always a chance for a happy ending. So, without further ado, let's get started. First case is about Dorothy K. Turner and Heidi Turner. Family members said that Dorothy K. Turner and her daughter Heidi took a strange route through Idaho when they left Pendleton, Oregon, to go to Utah in late October 2021. Family members said that the mother and daughter were missing on November 3rd. They hadn't called him on his cell phone like they had done the whole trip, so they were thought to be missing and put the police in danger. Put out to look for the two people in their car, a 2015 Gold Chrysler Town & Country with Oregon license plates. A truck driver said he saw a car that looked like Dorothy K. Turner and Heidi's at a little Stinkers truck stop near exit 13 on Interstate 84 near Payette. On Friday, November 5th at 11:45 a.m., the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office got a call that a hunter had found a body in the Panhandle National Forest in the Solitary Sandal area. When police looked into it more, they found a broken-down car nearby with Heidi Turner inside. Later, it was confirmed that the dead person was her mother, Dorothy K., and that she died from being out in the weather. Heidi said that she and her mother got lost in the northern Idaho forest because they were following a route they didn't know because their GPS told them to. Once the car broke down and they were stuck, they couldn't go any further. Dorothy left to try to find help and told Heidi to stay in the car so that she wouldn't be exposed to the same things that killed Dorothy. In the end, Heidi didn't know that her mother had died while she was looking for help. I thought she would return at some point. The next case is about Parker Jasmer and Christian Farnsworth. Christian Farnsworth and Parker Jasmer, both 19, went missing in the snowy wilderness of Oregon in late December 2021 and early January 2022 for a whole week and were found safe and sound. The two had gone camping near Swastika Mountain, which got its name from a rancher who used the image of a swastika at the time, branding his cattle with a star, which was thought to be a good luck sign. The two set out on their hike around Christmas, but he didn't come back as planned on December 29th. The Lane County Sheriff's Office was told about the two missing teens, and on the last day of 2021, when they still hadn't been found, they started a ground search. The ground search was hard, though, because heavy snowfall in the area had covered the mountain roads and made them impossible to travel. This caused the sheriff's office to ask for help from the Coast Guard. After this, the two young men were found right away. They were smart enough to write SOs in the freshly fallen snow, so it's not hard to find them. Coast Guard officials say that this was easy for the rescue teams to spot from the air. None of the teens needed any kind of medical help, and they had been in the snowy, mountainous wilderness for almost a week without getting hurt because they didn't need to go to the nearest hospital or even go to the hospital at all. They were taken by helicopter straight to the Lane County Sheriff's Office so their identities could be checked. During the search for Christian and Parker, rescuers found another pair of hikers in trouble, and they were also able to get them to safety without harm. I heard that the Coast Guard got involved, which is unusual, but Katrina Crawford, Christian Farnsworth's mother, thinks they knew how bad the situation was. Lieutenant Maggie Champion, who was in charge of the MH-65 aircraft in Sector North Bend when the two teens were saved, said, "I'm so grateful to the Coast Guard. By riding SOS in the snow, these young men did a lot of things right to improve their chances of being saved. We were able to find them pretty quickly because we stayed near their car and logging roads. We suggest that hikers in the backcountry carry personal locator beacons. Next case about Jaren Fisher. Jaren Fisher, who was 26 years old, planned to hike alone from September 8th to September 12th of 2021. He planned to camp at Enchanted Valley, Marmot Lake, Sundown Lake, and Camp Pleasant before taking the Graves Creek trailhead back to his car for the trip home. A family member reported that he was missing, and the authorities started looking right away. They quickly found Jaren's car still parked at the Graves Creek trailhead and started looking for him in that area. The Park Service said that search and rescue teams hiked into the wilderness on Thursday afternoon from the Graves Creek trailhead toward Sundown Lake, and also from the North Fork Skirmish Trail. They followed Fisher's route backward. Bad weather, which was cold, windy, and wet, slowed down the search efforts. A week later, on September 19th at 8 p.m., a helicopter sent out as part of the first search and rescue efforts found Jared. He had to be pulled out of a ravine in the Olympic National Park. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, he was flown to the Olympic Regional Airport and then taken to a local hospital, where he was said to be in stable condition after surviving a scary week in the wilderness. Let's jump to the Jolly Bose case. Jolly Bose is a woman from Palo Alto, California, who is 49 years old. She got separated from her hiking group at a ridge east of White Bark Vista and Doozy Airship Trail near Huntington Lake in the Sierra National Forest. The group said she was missing on Sunday, October 17, 2021. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office sent out 35 people to look for her in the snowy mountains. These people were both deputies and volunteers, along with a search and rescue team that was said to have worked every day around the clock to try to find her and bring her back out of the mountains safely. The sheriff also used a lot of different tools to help with the search, like planes, drones, helicopters, horses, jeeps, and vehicles that had been changed. The agency also got help from Yosemite National Park, the Office of Emergency Services in California, and the team from the Marin County Sheriff's Office. The search area was at a height of more than 10,000 feet and was covered in snow and ice. About 48 hours later, she was found about 4.5 miles from where she had been seen last. Jolly was found alive and seemed to be fine. On the morning of October 19th, she was airlifted out of the area. During her ordeal, Jolly had to deal with 5 feet of snow that was still falling and temperatures that ranged from 13 to 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Despite this, she was not hurt and didn't need any medical help at all. Now Clifton Cliff is the next case. In September 2021, a 66-year-old man named Clifton Beck, or Cliff to his friends and family, got a backcountry permit so he could spend 2 nights on the Walhalla Plateau. On Friday, Cliff left for his trip. He was supposed to leave the country on Sunday, but he never came out of the woods. Park officials were told that Cliff hadn't been seen since 9 p.m. on Tuesday. They were told that he was on the Walhalla Plateau on the north rim of the canyon. The next day, an air search was started, but it didn't find Cliff. On Thursday, 9 ground search teams, air searchers, and helicopters were sent out to look for him. There was also a fixed-wing plane near the plateau, and at 8:30 a.m. on Friday, 7 days after he first set out on his own at Grand Canyon National Park, he was found. Near Roosevelt Point on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, Clifton Cliff was found alive and in good health. He was in stable condition, so an ambulance took him to a nearby hospital, where he got better quickly. Next case. Teresa Basher. On Monday, October 30th, 2021, Teresa Basher was going to hike alone up Hawksbill Crag in Arkansas's Ozarks National Park. The Hawksbill Crag, which is also called Whitaker's Point, is a popular spot for hiking and taking pictures. It's in the Ozark National Forest, about 90 minutes southeast of Fayetteville. It's one of the best places to see in the forest. Jasper Teresa planned for this trip to be a one-day hike, so when she didn't come home that night, she was reported missing. On the 30th, her car was still at the trailhead, so everyone thought she had made it out of the park. She wasn't ready to hike or be out in the woods for a long time, so she might have gotten lost and could have been lost. In general, search and rescue crews started looking again the next morning after not finding anything the night before. They looked all day, and a command center was set up in the nearby town of Kingston, but they still couldn't find Teresa. Wet. After 2 whole nights had passed and there was still no sign of her, ground searchers were joined by canine and air units. Also on Wednesday, 2 utility workers were working on a water line about a mile from the trailhead, near where Teresa's car was still sitting where she had left it 2 days before. Suddenly, they saw a woman walking toward them from the woods, and they helped her get to safety. Teresa Basher did it. She later said that she had lost her way because she got lost in the fog and rough terrain. Search and rescue teams told the media that Teresa went home the same day, Wednesday afternoon, that she'd been found and was okay after spending 2 nights alone and unprepared in the wilderness.